almost died on camera. This is the most dressed up I've ever been for my videos ever. Side note, look at my ring my mother got me. That's all. Hi, hey guys, welcome back to the YouTube channel. It's me, Chelsea, and it's nice to see you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. So today, what we're gonna be doing is another ranking video, which is something I have not done in a couple of months. A certain TV show has provoked me to do a ranking, and that's Bridgeton. The show's on Netflix, by the way. Season 1 came out like December, beginning of January. Yeah, we're gonna be doing a ranking on the Bridgeton characters today. There's a lot to get into. I have a lot to say. So, without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, so how this is gonna work, our lowest tier is don't care or nothing. That basically means I have nothing to say about this character, or I just don't care enough to say anything about them. Then we have the tier. That's more so like you're okay, but I still kind of have nothing to say about you, but I care enough to say something. Next one is a good side character. You know, some people are gonna get a lot of love from me today in that category. And then we have a let's unpack section. I have a couple of people for that. And then the highest tier is needs to see a chiropractor because they carried the show on their backs. Christ, I need to see a chiropractor. Actually, side note, before I start on the characters, I'm going to talk about the overall premise of the show. I'm just going to say I love the show. I loved it. The soundtrack, phenomenal. Like when I started realizing there were like songs, I started hearing Bad Guy. I was like, do my ears deceive me? I loved it. I loved the music. I love the looks of the dresses. I love the fashion. I love the drama. My problem I have with it though, this might be controversial. If it is, sue me. I said what I said. The show lacked diversity. It did. Now, don't get me wrong. I loved how like the storyline was, you know, King George married a black woman, you know, making it an interracial thing and, you know, basically letting black people have any person of that fact to have any rank as any white person or anybody else. I loved that storyline. Originally, I thought they were just gonna like not talk about race. Like I just thought it was gonna be like, you know, oh yeah, an Asian person can have high rank like a white person, or you know, same black people, same thing, blah blah blah. But then I realized that this show still lacked diversity. Don't get me wrong, this doesn't make the show any less good. It's just like a thing I noticed. Okay, so what I'm overall trying to say is that I feel like the show lacked diversity in like the shades of people they showed. Most of the cast, if they were POC, they were lighter skinned. All of them except for like 2 characters. Now, you can say I'm never happy with anything, but I feel like I would love the show even more if I saw more people who looked like me and actually had a storyline. But now that I got that out of the way, now we can get to the list. Okay, the first person on the list I'm going to be talking about is the Prince. Off the bat, he's gonna have to go in the A tier for me. He wasn't bad. He was actually a really nice guy. He was very understanding because if you ask me, I mean, Daphne was leading that man on. Now I know why she went with Simon. I know why, but like from his perspective, he didn't know why she was going for Simon. So if I'm talking from his perspective, I'd be like, wait a minute. This woman had me thinking, you know, she's my forever ever. And then I give her this big old expensive necklace, invite her to my very royal ball, and then she told me she didn't want me. But he was very understanding about it. So that impression I just did was how I thought he would react, but he didn't. He was really sweet. Even after the queen was trying to, you know, make him fight for her, he was like, you know, they got true love. I'm happy for her. You know, I'm going to take my losses and I'm going to go on home and, you know, the right one will come find me. He's going to have to go in the let me think. I was going to put him in the A tier originally, but I kind of had more to say and I liked him more than I thought I did, even though he was barely on the show. I'm going to put in good side character. I was going to put him in A originally, but you're giving me good side character, man. Supportive. Now we're going to go to the girl, I forgot her name, the one who also liked the Prince. Annoying. I have nothing to say about her. I don't really care about her. She's gonna be in the don't care. Nothing to say. Oh yeah, another side note, I hate the sideburns. I hate them. Very ugly. I get the sideburns is like, maybe was the sideburns like a show of like class? I don't know how y'all are finding men y'all want to be with for the rest of your lives and y'all see this side. Let's move on. Okay, next person we're talking about is the queen. I don't really have much to say about her. Her whole storyline with King George was, I think, really interesting. It threw me off because she was like, at the beginning, she was like, is he dead? I'm like, oh my gosh, is she plotting on her man to be dead? Is she trying to take over the throne? Is this the story we're getting? I'm here for it if we are. But I mean, just to find out he has Alzheimer's, I think he has. They didn't really specify what he had. Knowing that happened to him, I can understand why she kind of wanted him to die, because like the way he treated her, it probably really broke her heart. Because I mean, he loved her, and then he all of a sudden he can't remember her and stuff. So I think that was really hard for her. I hope they dive in more to her storyline. I want them to dive into hers and King George's love story, season 2. Possibly, because it's very interesting. Like, I want to know how he fell in love with her and like how did he find her, because I don't think she came from like a high rank. I don't think. I want to hear more about her. So I'm feeling like, should I put her in the Let's Unpack? I'm trying to think what to put her in good side character or Let's Unpack, because I feel like there's a lot I want to know about her that I don't. I think I'll put her in the Let's Unpack. That's the energy I'm getting. I'm gonna put her in Let's Unpack. Go ahead, queen. Go ahead, queen. Ooh, baby, I did not mean to put you there, so sorry. Okay, the next person I will be talking about is Penelope's sister. The sister who actually had a guy who wanted to marry her. This sister deserved better. She did. I understood why her dad did not want her to get married, because they were broke. That's all I have to say about her, really. So she'll be put in the category. And then your sister, the other sister, she was just very rude. And that's all. I don't really have anything to say about her. So she's gonna be in the don't care, nothing. Okay, since we're on Penelope's family, we're just gonna like digest the whole family. How about that? Okay, next person I'm gonna be talking about is, let's unpack her mother. She obviously married for rank and not for love. I like how they followed her relationship and his relationship, but like we saw it from her perspective, if that makes sense. Everyone did not know like why was he so rude, or why he pushed away the other girl's possible husband, or why he didn't want to buy dresses anymore, and why he didn't want to do this and why he didn't want to do that. Like, we were in the same boat as their mom, and I did like that. I realized I was just talking about both of them at the same time, so I guess I'm going to be ranking both of them right now at the same time. Okay. I'm going to give Penelope's dad an because I don't really have much to say with him except he needed help, but he's kind of dead anyways, so. And then we're going to put Penelope's mother. Even though she's not really a side character, I just associate her with being a side character because like this is mainly about Simon and Daphne. So I consider everyone else side characters, even if they're not. So everyone calm down. I'm gonna put her as a good side character. She's a good villain. I'm going to talk about Marina, her storyline was very interesting. I actually really loved her storyline. I really did. It was just something about it. Like, to like where her lover was off fighting a war and like not knowing if he was dead or alive. Her storyline was very interesting and honestly probably the most like depressing storyline of the whole season. I don't know, I really felt that for her, and she just wanted to marry for love. And since I'm speaking about her situation, I'm gonna bring in Daphne for a second. I loved how Daphne did not blackball the whole family like everyone else in the society did, because I don't know, I feel like in all these old-timey like 1800s kind of set movies and TV shows, they always make it seem like no one can be sympathetic for the woman in the situation ever. See, that's weird to me. I don't understand, because like all these men had all these different mistresses and all of this, and like they got away scotch-free, but as soon as a woman gets pregnant out of wedlock, talk of the town. I don't get it. I don't know why I say town like that. Marina, I just feel like there's so much to talk about her with, and there's so much I want to unpack with her that I feel like we don't know. Like next season, okay, I know the season ended off with her actually going with her lover's, like I think she ended up getting married to her lover's brother because he died in the war. So I would just love to follow her and see what happens with that, because she's still obviously devastated, especially because he did love her and he did want to take care of the kid. Like he didn't want to leave her. But Marina, babe, I'm going to put you in Let's Unpack, because there's just so much I want to learn about her. Wait, I'm talking too fast. I'm sorry. I'm going to slow down. I'm just very excited. Okay, so the next person we're going to talk about is Nigel. I feel like as a community, we can all agree we did not like Nigel. Okay, there was a scene at one of the balls where he was like, oh, I'm so attracted to you, Daphne. Ever since I saw you at the schoolhouse, I couldn't get you out of my mind. How old were you again? Daphne was like, 5. So I'm like, wait a minute. 2 plus 2 is not equaling 4 right now. Because Daphne was 5 at the schoolhouse. Nigel, how old were you when you were thinking that, like, she was cute? Something about that seems predatory. I don't like it, Nigel. Nigel just weird vibes. So I'm gonna put him in Don't Care. And I'm so glad they didn't drag that storyline out. Okay, guys, we're trickling down so fast. But the next person is Lady Danbury. Her being literally the only darker complexion main character. I didn't get much out of her. Like, I didn't really get much of a storyline out of her like I wanted, which kind of sucked for me because I think she was very interesting. Like, I want to hear more about her because basically she took care of Simon after his mom died. She was basically his mother. And I just want to know how she was best friends with Simon's mom. I liked her. I loved the scene where like all the all the wives had their own little night. They just drunk and gambled but long story short, Miss Lady Danbury, I want to put her in the Let's Unpack because they gave her literally no material. Now that I think about it, they gave her no material. She was just kind of there just to open Simon's eyes up to how much she loved Daphne. That was it. She had no storyline. But I digress on that one. But I'm going to put her in the Let's Unpack. Hopefully next season they give me some more to work with on her character because not really much happened. Next person I'm going to talk about is Simon's boxer friend. I can't think of his name and I don't want to look it up. Once again, another side character. I think he was really good though, because we all know Simon's not the most level-headed person. He acts on impulse. And I feel like his friend was really good and really level-headed person and really helped like Simon rationalize his thoughts or his problems. I'm just so interested in his storyline too, because he has a family and he's like boxing and doing all this. Oh my gosh, wait though, his life should be changed now because even though Penelope's dad died, he still got his cut before Penelope's dad died. So like, does that mean he started to fight? I don't know. I hope they get into that next season. I don't have much else to say about him. I'm just very intrigued. Like, I want to know how him and Simon became friends. Because Simon was never poor, like, at one point ever. So, how did he find him? But, that's something I was going to put him in Let's Unpack. But I'm going to put him in a good side character, actually. Because I feel like I'd be interested to hear about his story, but I also feel like I wouldn't be at the same time. Okay, next person we'll be talking about is Anthony's mistress. I don't know her name, don't care about her name. I'm gonna say it. I did not care about their storyline at all, like at all. Their on and off relationship the whole season was kind of boring. I liked though how they showed how Anthony was like, and Anthony actually had feelings, because whenever he's with like Daphne and the rest of the family, he was kind of more stone cold, really serious. But when he got around with her, he seemed more human. I liked that. But I actually understand why she was willing to break it off, because Anthony wanted to change her a lot. What does she look like going to a ball with Anthony at the high rank he is? She said that towards one of her last scenes, and I was like, yeah, girl, you're actually right. You're right. Next season, I hope they give Anthony, I guess I'm talking about Anthony, his girl now. I hope they give Anthony, though, another love interest. I feel like he needs it, but I'm gonna put her in because she had a significant role, but not really. So I thought we'll talk about Eloise next. Her whole like trying to figure out who Lady Whistleton was, it was kind of interesting at some points and it kind of wasn't. I love Eloise as a character. I think her like awkwardness is very comical to me and very real. The only thing that confuses me, I don't know how old she was supposed to be. Respectfully, I've seen pictures of the actress who plays her, and like, she does not look as old as she looks in this TV show. This TV show, she looks a solid like 30 something. But apparently I looked it up, they're supposed to be, her and Penelope are supposed to be 17, and like Daphne's like 20 something. But Eloise, she just looked old and young at the same time. Very confusing. I hated the wig they gave her. I hated the wig. It was not cute. I hated the stuff she wore. I want more for her though. Like, oh my gosh, next season, if we see her like during courting season, I feel like that'd be really cool to see. At one point in the show, once upon a time, I thought she was gonna be gay at one point. I don't know why. I don't know why. So, dare I say, I'm gonna say it, Eloise needs to see a chiropractor. Okay, because she carried this show. Honestly, I cared more about her and Penelope's storylines than I did Daphne and Simon at one point. Because their relationship got too complicated and I just didn't feel like caring about it no more. The next person we're going to talk about is Daphne's mother. I don't know anyone's names and it's getting embarrassing. I loved her mom's energy. I loved how she was like, Daphne, I want you to marry someone with high rank. I do, like that'd be really good, but I want you to marry this person not because of their rank, but because you love them. And I liked that a lot because like a lot of shows based in this era don't really show the mother supporting the daughter's wishes of, you know, marrying for love. The one thing I wish she kind of did was prepare Daphne more for the like marriage life. But overall, I think Daphne's mom was really supportive and just a really good character. I love how she put Anthony in his place. She was like, baby, I don't care if you are the first man in this house, you came out of me. I'm still on top, baby. And I like how she set him in his place and he shut up too. Woo. Back talk? It's quiet. Ain't no back talk. And don't get me wrong, she was still very nice and understanding of Anthony, like, you know, basically being the man of the house. I really do love her. Am I gonna put her in need a chiropractor? Or should I put her in Let's Unpack? Because I kind of feel like at the same time, we didn't really get much about her. We didn't get much about any of the older characters. No, I think, okay, I lied. I think we're gonna put her in good side character. I'm gonna put her in good side character for now. When I reevaluate my whole list, then we'll see where she goes. But for now, she'll be in good side character, babe. We are on Penelope. We're on Penelope. The only part that just I did not care for was like Penelope being Lady Whistleton. That's the part I did not really like. I say that because Lady Whistleton just seemed very passive aggressive. Lady Whistleton just seemed very like that. She was still very elegant, but I don't know. She seemed way more like wise and mature than Penelope was. What I mean by that is like, I don't know. I'm not gonna call Penelope naive. She just seemed more adolescent, especially because she didn't even know where like babies came from or how they were made or anything like that. I kind of started to pick up it was Penelope when like Mariana's story got out. So I was like, okay, either Penelope knows who Lady Whistleton is and went to Lady Whistleton and told her this secret, or she's Lady Whistleton. That's what I thought. Yeah, honestly, there's a lot to talk about with Penelope. Come thinking about how she was willing to throw her whole family, like she blackballed her whole family out of spite for Mariana. But I don't know, I guess like Penelope doing something so spiteful like that to me showed her adolescence. And Colin still didn't want her after. Well, I don't think he did. Honestly, I don't think Colin and Penelope will ever get together. Honestly, Penelope deserves better. My baby Penelope, she deserves a love interest next season. If it's not Colin, then someone else. Penelope is going to needs to see a chiropractor because her and Eloise together carried this show. Carried this show. Next person I'm going to talk about is Colin, because I don't have much to say about him. I think his character, I think he was a good guy. Because that whole scene when he was like, Mariana, even if you would have told me from the beginning that you were pregnant, I still would have been with you. You didn't have to lie to me. I was like, dang girl, you done fumbled the bag. You fumbled the bag. But because of the little material I have of him, he's going to be for me. He has more room for development in his storylines. Because he didn't really have much of a storyline actually. But Colin's going to be an character for me. Sorry, love. We are now on to Benedict. I'm so excited for Benedict's storyline. I hope they really dive in. Honestly, besides Penelope and Eloise's storyline, Benedict's storyline was my second favorite storyline. Period. Don't care. Honestly, dare I say, I think Benedict's gonna be doing some exploring next season, if you catch my drift. I think him and his like painter friend storyline, very interesting to see. And I feel like, I'm not saying Benedict's questioning his sexuality, but I feel like he's down to explore because he's a little too intrigued of his painter friend's like ways with that man. A little too intrigued. So I feel like Benedict's a little colorful. And that's okay. And that's okay. I feel like he is. And I would just really love for us to follow that storyline of him. I think him with Genevieve's like storyline with them together, that wasn't really interesting. I want Benedict to find him a man. And what about it? Benedict, go explore. Ugh, you're the second oldest. I mean, you have no response for this Anthony's job, you know, babe? Go explore. Go have fun. But Benedict is gonna need to see a chiropractor. Okay. We are now on to Anthony, I feel like Anthony, I said a lot with him when I was talking about his mistress. I feel like Anthony, I'm not gonna say he's misunderstood. He was really fumbling the bag for Daphne. Why did I say it like that? He was really fumbling the bag for Daphne with her courts. I just don't think anyone else in the house realizes how much pressure it is on Anthony to like be the father of the house. And I think him being really protective of Daphne, it's honestly genuine. Like I don't think he's having a power trip or anything on being controlling. I just think he genuinely cares about Daphne. So actually I applaud him for that. I do. And him and Simon's storyline, their friendship is so messy, but I ate it up. I did. So Anthony, I'm gonna put you in Let's Unpack because I feel like there's just more I want to know about you, babe. There is. Okay, we are on to the main characters, Simon and Daphne. Okay, their relationship, I'm so glad they didn't carry. I thought they were gonna drag out their fake relationship for the whole season. I'm glad they did not. I'm glad we actually got to the wedding part. Very rude to the sirens. When he finally explained and when we saw his background of why he didn't want kids, it made sense why he didn't want kids. But the part I didn't condone was him lying to Daphne, completely saying he could not bear kids. He could not have kids, like, period. Not wanting kids and not being able to have kids are two different things. And he played Daphne for a fool because he already knew Daphne knew nothing about, how babies are made or anything like that. And he played that to his advantage. It was very manipulative. I understand, like, the way his dad treated him was very traumatic for him. But him straight out lying to Daphne was not cute. And I started to catch on, like, a couple of times ago, I started to catch on that something ain't right. Because I was like, wait a minute. If he can't bear kids, then that means he can, do his thing and her thing and her not get pregnant. So why doesn't he do that? I started questioning, like, okay, my conspiracies were really deep. I was like, bro, what if his mom died of, like, AIDS or something and he has AIDS? I don't know. I was just going all across the boards. I'm like, maybe he had like a disease and he ain't passing on to Daphne or something. I was really giving this man justice. But no, he straight out lied to Daphne. But on top of that, I don't condone Daphne. Her getting on top of him and continuing after he said stop doesn't sit right with me. It doesn't give me consensual anymore. And I don't like that. Daphne did really, I don't like how she trapped him like that. I don't think that was cute. I wish she would rather talk to him about that or argue whatever she wanted to do with him instead of trapping him like that. Because let's just say after that talk, what if she was pregnant? And now you're stuck with a kid that he doesn't want and you don't want with him, girl. Yeah, that whole thing was a whole... I actually really like though seeing both of them. I like Daphne trying to get to know the village that they were watching over. I liked Daphne actually taking like her role as a Duchess very seriously. I think that's very interesting to watch. But with Simon's character, I feel like, okay, I've been reading Twitter and stuff like that on how people feel about the show. And a lot of people were like, we could have saved, I was like this at one point too. I was like, we could have saved so much time, like so many time in episodes if both of them just talked and Simon was just like, look, I don't want to have kids because I told my dad I would never bear him a kid because I would never treat that kid the way he treated me and blah, 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 blah. If he would have told Daphne that, I'm pretty sure Daphne would have understood because Daphne was a really loving, like really understanding person. And Daphne was like, you're not your dad, everything's gonna be fine. And then, makeup, blah, in the show. But I was like, that's not realistic though. I feel like a lot of us wanted to be really simple communication, but that's just not how life works, especially on the circumstances of why they got married. It just wouldn't be realistic for both of them to open up to each other so naturally, especially after like getting married in the short amount of time and getting married for the reason they did get married. So I guess it was very realistic on how long it took Simon to admit why he didn't want kids. And honestly, I think it was beautiful how it played out at the end. I think finally understanding how Simon's mind works. But I feel like in Simon's mind, he never thought that he was perfect enough. That's why he didn't want to marry Daphne. And like, because he thought he was never good enough for her. And just like Simon's whole life, this man was told you're not good enough, disabled, you're dumb, you're stupid, all because of a stutter, a fixable stutter. But he was just told his whole life that he was not good enough and he will never be good enough. Simon just really tried for his dad and his dad never loved him. So I feel like Simon reflected those emotions his dad gave him to everyone else, especially Daphne. That's why I feel like Simon thought he wasn't good enough for her. I think that scene where he finally told Daphne at that moment where she finally reassured him that you are perfect and that I do love you regardless. I think that whole scene was beautiful, and it was a beautiful understanding, and it was realistic on how long it took for both of them to finally confess it. I feel like a lot of the times we take ourselves out of how real it's supposed to be, and like, cause like, let's just be honest though, if I was in that situation, I'm not gonna open up to a guy I'm marrying because I'm trying to hide a scandal and not bring dishonor to my family. And I just think the way they did it was very realistic, and I liked that. Oh, those two had some spicy scenes. I'll tell you what. That's all I'm gonna say. We're gonna leave it there. So on that note, I think I'm gonna put Daphne and Simon. I feel like I want to put them under Let's Unpack, even though I literally just unpacked them. This is the tier list. Put it right here, Chelsea.